You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.
Good morning, everybody. This is our second half of our show, Ask the Master Auto Technician. I've got Brian Armstead calling all the way from Maryland. Is that where you're at this morning, Brian?
Absolutely. Beautiful day here in Maryland. Supposed to get a little thunderstorm activity later on the day, so might wash some of that pollen away. I know it's not a pollinating season, but it's a beautiful day here. It's been driving some really cool vehicles from the Tundra to the QX30 Sport, which is what we're going to talk about today. The latest Infiniti active crossover, James. Had a chance to go out to Seattle, Washington, another very beautiful place, and test drive the so-called C-segment sport activity vehicle.
Wow.
Or activity crossover. You know, this whole moniker thing with activity vehicles is kind of gotten a little bit out of hand. First, we had the sport utility vehicle. The BMW came out with the sport activity vehicle, and then now you have the crossover utility vehicle. And I mean, every so often they come out with new monikers to try to create a new segment for these vehicles, which are essentially sport wagons, tall wagons to compete in. And the 2017 Infiniti QX30 competes in the so-called C segment, James.
C segment.
It's a smaller, sportier crossover utility. In 2010, the segment was created. By 2017, the industry expects sales to be at 90,000 units per year. And by 2022, 180,000 units per year. And with an average price, in the 40s, 50s, that's a significant amount of income for manufacturers. So why the Infiniti QX30? Well, first of all, it was created as part of a joint partnership between Daimler and Renault Nissan. So essentially, James, the Infiniti QX30 is a rebadged Mercedes-Benz GLA. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the GLA, but it's been quite successful.
Tell me about it.
It's a small, again, it's just like the Infiniti QX30. It looks almost like it. I mean, well, no, it doesn't look like it because Infiniti has put their own styling and interior architecture stamp on the car. But they're just very capable small sport utility vehicles. Now, before I go into an actual description of this joint partnership, can you give me the name of another joint partnership that you've known about over the years where a car company has taken another vehicle and rebadged it as their own?
My wife's car, she has a Crossfire, which is made by Chrysler. Well, excuse me, made by Mercedes. It's really a SLK Mercedes that's been rebadged as a Chrysler Crossfire.
Bingo. That's a good example. Yes. We also have the Mazda 2, which was rebadged as the Scion. Porsche, back in the day, the 924 was originally built for Volkswagen. Chrysler, even further back, Chrysler, no, not as far back, but kind of in the same ballpark. Chrysler with their Maserati by TC, or TC by Maserati, which was essentially a LeBaron with some Maserati badges on it. Quite a disastrous vehicle, I might add.
I'm not going to go there. Sorry.
But with this new Infiniti QX30, the transmission, the throttle, and suspension have been tuned by Infiniti. The interior has been restyled by Infiniti, and the exterior is really all Infiniti. Under the hood, you have the Mercedes-Benz 208 horsepower, 2-liter turbocharged 4. Quite a power plant. It really gets up and goes. It's got 258 pound-feet of torque between 1,200 and 4,000 RPM. So, and that very small bandwidth there, you get a lot of power out of this engine. So it's good on the highway. But it's also good off of the stoplight. And it features standard stop-start, which I don't particularly like because when you come to a stop, the engine stops. And then when you lift up off the brake, the engine restarts. It's to save fuel. I understand that, but I don't like that technology. It competes with the BMW X1, the Audi Q3, and, of course, the Mercedes GLA on which it's based. I mean, it's got almost identical, features with that.
Now, I know...
Styling,
go ahead.
Styling, James, is just stunning, to be quite honest with
Is
you. It comes in 3 versions, and the versions are the QX30, the QX30 Sport, and the QX30 all-wheel drive. Now, my favorite is the Sport because it's got some deep cowling on the front, deep air intakes on the front fascia. It sits about a half-inch lower than the other two. It's got big 19-inch wheels on it. It's got a stiffer spring rate, 7% stiffer, and it's got sport-tuned steering. Now, the styling is very swoopy on Infinities. I mean, this is a Japanese car company that gets it. I love Toyotas. I love Lexus products, but sometimes the styling is a little bit anime, for lack of a better word. Anime, for your listeners, if you're not familiar with Japanese culture, is just kind of cartoonish. That's one of their cartoon series where they create different characters. Like Speed Racer, for example, started in anime and then became a popular cartoon or animated program. Not so with Infinity.
Not so.
Swoopy styling, almost dramatic in a sense. If you take the QX30, if you start at the front fender, which is considered, just behind the front fender, you have the A pillar. Between the 2 doors is the B pillar. At the end of the back door is the C pillar. And at the end of the car itself, if you have a big enough vehicle, but not in the case of QX, is a D pillar. If you had like a big Cadillac ESV or one of the larger SUVs. This car has a shoulder line, James, that starts at the top of the fender, swoops down on the front door, below the door, right through the front door handle, continues to swoop through the rear door handle, and then swoops up towards the spoiler on the rear deck. Well, there's no spoiler, but kind of the just above the taillights on the rear deck. It's a dramatic swooping line that really adds a lot of flavor and a lot of flair to the whole side profile. The door panels themselves are deeply sculpted. It's got that unique kind of little C crescent that's kind of Infinity's styling moniker or styling feature at the C pillar. And it's just all around just a really nice package. A lot of technology available on board. You got forward emergency braking, forward collision warning, high beam assist, blind spot warning, lane departing warning.
Wow.
Intelligent cruise control with brake stop.
Right. So it sounds like it's got all the buttons, bells, and whistles that they've been advertising on all the newer cars out there. Like you said, the blind spot technology, the lane changing, the like radar. I call it radar cruise, where it stops and starts with the traffic in front of you. Will it actually stop in an emergency, like we're seeing some of these cars out here that will, if something stops in front, the car will stop without you reacting?
Yes, it will.
Good.
Yes, it will.
That seems to be the
and
new
I don't
urge.
have available to what degree, if it's a full stop or a partial stop. But I don't have that right in front of me. But you better believe that if it's based on Mercedes technology, it's got a lot of safety features that are going to help get you out of trouble.
How does it handle?
Get into trouble.
How does it handle? Because I know you're a big guy, and I mean, how does it feel when you're in this car? Does it feel like you're cramped up, or you got plenty of room?
Not at all.
Okay.
And that's part of the remarkable part of it. I mean, I'm sitting way back behind the B pillar.
Oh.
I'm literally, the B pillar is my side view window.
Right.
Because the seat has to be.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. But you're behind the B pillar?
Cars, I'm checking the blind spot out of the rear window. I mean, I'm literally that far back. But that shows you that this car has a lot of legroom.
Wow.
Now, it essentially reduces the QX to a 3-seater when I'm in there, because I take away. I wouldn't want to sit behind me in the Infiniti QX30, but I'm not the normal guy that any car company is going to market a vehicle to a monster like me.
Well, you're 6'9". I mean, how many people are 6'9"? I mean, no offense.
Right, exactly. And I can't expect any car company to try to market a vehicle to somebody of my stature. Let's go through the different models, James, because I think this car is very fairly priced.
Okay.
QX30 $39,500 with navigation and moonroof. You have the QX30 all-wheel drive premium, or it comes in at $39,550 with navigation and moonroof. $42,750 if you add the LED and tech packages, which come with all kinds of goodies like LED front fog lamps, heated washers, aluminum and chrome finishing, things of that nature. And $34,000 for the base. I got the prices screwed up here.
That's all right.
$34,000 for the QX30 all-wheel drive luxury. $39,000 with navigation and moonroof. $42,750. And the packages are very reasonably priced as well. If you want to go with the base front-wheel drive model, it's a $29,950 MSRP, and then you can start to build from there, all the way up to $44,000 for the full tilt all-wheel drive premium with moonroof and navigation, LED lighting, tech package, and the so-called Cafe Teak package, $44,500. Quite a good deal.
It sounds like it's cheaper than a Mercedes GLA. It sounds like it's even cheaper because I think the Mercedes GLA, which is almost the same thing is about what, $10,000 more.
You know that you would think that somebody of my reasonable intelligence would have pulled up the price of the Mercedes just for comparison.
Oh, it's early in the morning. Because I know that's what it was with the Crossfire. If you looked at the SLK and you looked at the Crossfire, they were almost identical in body styling and power plants, but they were a big difference in price. And, you know, that was the big thing. That's what my wife liked about it. She said, look, this is $20,000 less than the SLK. I want to buy it. I said, okay, get it. You know, that makes you happy. But I was just figuring that maybe the same thing. Maybe
and I'm sure at some point somebody's going to come up with a guide so that you can buy your parts cheaper at a Infinity dealer for the same vehicle. You know, I mean, it happens.
It does.
It happens.
Yeah, same thing.
Inside, a lot of good things happen. The oddest thing about the interior is that it has a Mercedes key with a Infinity logo on it, so that takes a little while to get used to. But there's only one thing I don't like about the vehicle: the navigation touchscreen. You know, the whole telematics touchscreen is a little small, and it just appears to be out of place. It looks like it was kind of stuck in the dash. Pardon me, because it's got two side panels on it. And it almost looks like you're watching an analog signal on HD TV. So they put the two side pillar panels in to try to make up for the fact that you don't have a HD signal. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It seems like the technology for the screen is way behind. It should be more updated. Is that what you're saying? It's kind of.
I just think it should be larger. It just doesn't. It's just too small to fit into the space on the dash that they've allotted for it, because you have two filler panels about an inch wide on each side of the screen, and it looks like they just kind of stuck it in there, and that's the only flaw.
That's not
interior
too bad.
is flawless. You have you can choose from white leather or beige leather. You can get red contrast stitching. You can get red accents on the key fob, floor mats, kick plates. You can get the suede headliner called Dynamica rather. It's a faux suede, but it looks really nice. You get real wood trim inside. A lot of different interior themes. They have these so-called spinal support seats in the Infiniti QX30 that reduces the downward pressure on your pelvis and torso, and they claim a 30% reduction in fatigue compared to a typical seat. So this is a driver's car.
Sounds like it is. Brian, we're up against the clock. We got about 6 seconds left, and I got to let everybody know. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow morning. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next Thursday, Brian. Thank you so much for calling. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.